Welcome to the Checkered Shorts Podcast, a podcast of three fraternity brothers reconnected by their love of IndyCar. Join us for grid-rival IndyCar fantasy talk, predictions for upcoming races, and reactions to race day results and all things IndyCar. Let's go racing! Hey, welcome back. Checkered Shorts, episode number 33. Double threes in the house tonight. You can't get it backwards this time, Pat.
So, no. I've stopped doing it. I can't figure it out.
So, Professor Dinwiddie, relevance of the number 33.
That's another easy one, just like last episode. 33, the number of cars in the field of the Indianapolis 500. That started really getting set in 1934. It's been that way other than a few times since then. There was a protest in 47, I think, where only 30 cars ran. And then in two different years, 79 and 97, they ran 35 cars because some people got their feelings hurt. So they threw a couple cars in the field. Thing stories we go back and read. Why 33, Pat? Do you know? Do you know why it's 33?
I don't. I really don't.
Okay, Keith, any ideas?
No, I do not.
33.
I thought you were going to say 33 was the Larry Bird.
No, the 33 is they had scientists way back then or whoever decided that they needed 400 feet per car on that track. And at 2.5 miles, if you divide it by 400 feet, you get 33 cars. So, But that's the number of cars that they thought safely could run on that track at one time. So That's where the number 33 came from.
Interesting.
Yeah, that is an interesting tidbit, man. I want to impress some people over lunch tomorrow.
Right. Yeah, we're heading to Monterey, boys. It's a 2.2 miler out in Cali. I think some of these teams are coming straight from Toronto to Monterey. So Laguna Seca, it's also called. So pretty historic, not a pretty historic race, but somewhat historic race for IndyCar. Been going there, I think since the 90s. Track opened in 1957. So it's not just an IndyCar track. It's all the IMSAs, motorcycles too. So we are doing 95 laps on this one. It's famous for the corkscrew. It's the big downhill S type of turn, I believe. So it's usually puts on some pretty good racing for sure. Back in the 90s, Dinwiddie and I were just talking about Zanardi and Vassar. Was it Vassar, right? Yes.
Jimmy Vassar. Yeah.
Taking on each other in the target cars
for the title.
Yeah,
Zanardi passed Vassar to win the title in the last race of the year at Laguna Seca.
Yeah, so it should be fun. I didn't know this. There is within 450 feet of the track, there's a 6-story drop. So you're coming down real quick. That might be, I don't know if that's around the corkscrew or not, but
I think that is the corkscrew. Yeah.
So pretty cool. Should be fun. Excited. Another race week.
Yeah, it's going to be thrilling. One thing I did want to shout out. We gave Hy-Vee so much heck about their lack of sponsorship of the race in Iowa. I want to say I think Java House has stepped up in a pretty big way with IndyCar. Sponsoring one whole team, 2 cars. They got commercials with the folks, with the drivers embedded within them, and seemed like a pretty good sponsor for IndyCar this season.
I'll admit, remember when we were in Iowa, they're giving away like Java House martinis, and just wasn't quite the right scenario or setting for me to get a chocolate espresso Java House martini. But I will give them credit because it is kind of sinking in. I do drink coffee, and it's like it's like a pot or something, and you just pour it in. So I don't know where you can get them, but it's working for me to want to try the Java House juice. So so I'm excited. And it's a good sponsor. I mean, it's a local sponsor here to us Indiana boys. So bring it on.
All right, so going into this race, we talked about it. We're coming down to the short pointy end here, and we've only got 4 races left. With those 4 races left, who really needs to show out this weekend?
I mean, being a permanent road course, we know you can expect Palou is going to be strong. And so that means that if Pato has any chance of winning this championship or closing this gap down, he's got to do it. He's got to be strong this weekend.
Yep. And I mean, unfortunately, this is what Alex is probably best at. Is this road course? He's won it the past. He won it last year.
Two of the last three.
Two of the last 3. Yes, that's what I was trying to say. So, but that's who you want to battle. Let's get these two, bumping and banging a little bit. And but no, Pato has to. Somebody from Penske other than Power probably needs to show out. I mean, give me Scotty Mack up there competing, just to let me know he can still do it. I'm not worried about Joseph. He can still do it. I think a lot of bad luck, but Scotty Mack, I want to remember. I think that's who I picked to win the series this year. He was, I think, becoming the king in Penske. I think like the crown has shifted to him. So you can't tell anything through it this year. That's for sure. So he has to have a big weekend, and all these other guys, Ferrucci, by golly. Yeah. What happens to him? Hopefully his hand's okay. Needs to show up. You can't not race races and then come to the next week and throw a dud. So those are the ones I'm looking at.
I think Lundgaard too. He's had a really good year. This is a permanent road course. We know how good he's been on those. This is his chance to get a victory this year. Either this race or Portland, which is the next one. When he goes back to short ovals, he's not good. So I think a last chance here for him. Colton Herta, last year he had a really strong finish to the season. That's a guy here that could back up a good weekend that he just had in Toronto. So, and then, I throw the RLL guys in there. I mean, Graham Rahal's had a couple good races.
Yeah, he has.
And, we know that Louis Foster is challenged he's been in the Fast Six the last 2 road courses. So those guys could be strong here.
Yeah, Louis was up front in Toronto there. He wasn't leading, but he was top 2-ish, 3-ish there for a while. So he's showing that he can drive these things and definitely qualify the darn things.
Well, you talk about him, talking about who needs it. We talked about how the leader circle, there was a pretty good gap, but it's not now. Stingray's had a couple of good finishes. Louis not. He's within striking distance now. So Louis and Devlin have got to pick it up if they want to get inside that leader circle, stay inside that leader circle.
Yeah, I'm rooting for Louis. I think over all of those guys, he's showing promise, and we just need a guy like that can keep advancing and winning races, winning poles, stuff like that. So, I think it's a heavy list, but let's see what these guys are made of.
So outside of the guys who need it, are there any guys you would just like to see? You sit down and you watch a race, an unfamiliar, out of the box guy, like, hey, I'd feel good for that team and that guy. Like last week I said Rosie. He's just such a likable guy. But is there anybody out there that you say, man, it'd be fun to watch him? Because this week was fun. I mean, it was cool to see 2 guys not on that, never been on that podium, be up on that podium.
I wasn't rooting against Pato, but I was rooting for Renus on Sunday in Toronto. He is a good driver. He is really good for the sport. He won an Indy. So very obviously road course, not a street course. So he can do this. And again, he doesn't have the best equipment, and everybody knows that he doesn't have the best equipment. So he's one that I would love to watch come through the ranks. And he did say at the end of the race, he's like, there's a lot more podiums coming for this team. So leaves me, I don't think he meant to say like I'm staying with this team.
Yeah.
Not that there's too many places to go, I don't think this year, but it's cool to see them putting some stuff together for sure.
I'm going to throw Armstrong. I think
Yeah.
I really thought maybe he was going to pull his first victory off last week in Toronto. You know, he's been strong at all the road courses this year, so maybe Marcus can get that first win finally.
Good call. Good call. We didn't talk
Yeah,
about him.
I'd be thrilled for either of those guys for sure. The guy that I think I would probably throw in there would be little Davey. That'd be
Yep.
pretty cool to see him come out of top, or he's been pushing lately, and it seems like there's always something that happens. I think he was a little off strategy, so he had to pit late, and he was just trying to run as many laps as he could out there and gain as many spots as he could. But he's had good showings, and he's driven well.
Yeah, I think he just gets caught up in a bad scenario here or there, or it would be, I don't know where he is in the standings up top. I'll tell you, he's 10th. If he kept his nose clean, I mean, he took out Palou one time, and I think maybe he was one of the, I forget. But yeah, can be right there for sure. And it's just bad luck of racing sometimes, I think. But no, those are, and I think he's a likable guy, just a pretty chill, normal guy.
Yeah.
When he was up in Iowa, him and Ferrucci BSing made you like the guy a lot more too.
It's kind of fun to cheer for the young guys too, like the new up and comers, and you can tell they got a little chip on their shoulder and they got a little more bravado. Some of the older guys are much more reserved, at least off track. So it's kind of fun to hear them talk and goof around and be silly and talk some crap every now and then to each other.
Chevy didn't have Will Power and Joseph Newgarden in the back of that truck there in Iowa for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
One, they don't want to do it. Two, they're probably not too happy to talk. And three, they're just not as charismatic and fun as those four that we saw when we were, just waiting for the race to start. So, it's these younger guys kind of get it. They're probably more in tune with social media and all that other stuff. So, a lot easier for them too. It's a good point.
So, power rankings, where did we come out this week, Brian?
Oh,
yeah, that's good call there. So, interestingly, we were very similar in our rankings this week as we were last week. Our top five stayed the same, and we all three had the same top five. So we'll start there. Palou still at the top, but I think Pato's closing the gap on that. If he can finish, strong, and I don't know if he can overtake Palou for us, but I think he can get off a lot closer to Palou. So Palou, Pato, and then Dixon, Kirkwood were third and fourth again, and then Marcus Armstrong again with another strong showing, kind of put himself back in that top five again. So he's in fifth. Where the differences started happening was sixth and seventh. We kind of went back and forth on Rosenquist and Lundgaard. And so Rosie comes out sixth with Lundgaard seventh. I think you could flip-flop those two pretty easily.
I agree.
Depending on the type of track you're on. If you're talking street and road, you're probably going with Lundgaard. If you go ovals, you're talking Rosie. Eighth, I was kind of surprised. Will Power is still hanging in there. We've talked about Penske struggles, but Willie P just continues to be pretty consistent. He's not winning races. He's not getting on the podiums, but he's staying in the top 10 for the most part.
Yep.
We had time there where both Foyt cars were in the top 10, but now we're down to one, and that's David Malukas is ninth. Ferrucci took a big hit this weekend with not being able to race on Sunday. That was tough.
Yep.
And then finishing top 10, jumping back up into the top 10 this week was Rinus VeeKay.
Yeah.
We love seeing our friend Rinus up there. And then just missing out this week was Colton Herta. We've talked about it. If things have fallen his way this season, I think he'd be up there pretty solidly. But he's raced well when he's been on track. His on-track performance has been good, but he just didn't make the cut for us this week.
Yeah, he probably, he's eighth. Looking at IndyCar, below award, Kirkwood, Dixon, Lundgaard is at 5. Felix, Armstrong is 7. Herta, Power, Davey is at 10, and then Arena. So, yeah, I mean, a lot of it's, like you said, can flip-flop back and forth. I think it's, all right, Rosie crashed out. He's going down a spot, somebody's jumping in type of thing in those scenarios. That's how I kind of do it. I don't know if I I don't think I put Herta in my top 10. Just maybe he wasn't. Yeah, I didn't. Sorry, probably should be. But yeah, he's got to have a little bit better of a season. Anyway,
Well, it just goes to show sometimes you can be forgettable if you don't perform where you think you should, and he's been silent. I mean, he'll ghost you.
yeah,
You get all
that's right.
optimistic. He goes
Great
out
point.
and does well in qualifications, and he does something, and then the dude ghosts you. So you don't know
I
him
don't have
anything. You don't know him
You're
anything.
right. I don't have to justify my answer. You're right, Keith. Whatever, Herta, you're number 12 now. No, it'll be fun to see what this next couple weeks can bring for sure. So we have a race this weekend. I think we have a week off,
We do.
and
Yep.
we're going to Portland. So that's a really long drive for the haulers if they're coming back.
I would still going to stay out there on the West Coast, but
So yeah, no, and then over to Milwaukee. So we're getting down to the nitty gritty.
that's right.
Yeah. So last thing I think we need to hit on is we do got a new person atop the leaderboard on Grid Rivals.
Oh, Ian.
Yeah, immediately he was over there with his abacus calculating the points, and
Good Rivals does that for us during the race, by the way.
Okay.
Somehow we missed this segment last week. I don't know why.
I kept refreshing my page, and I was like, I don't think Brian's going to overtake this. And then you had just a monstrous week.
I did. I had all three Andretti drivers, so that helped obviously. And then I had VK and Calamilot, which that was huge. My worst performer of the week was Alex Palou. So hard to believe that, but
That's pretty funny.
a little $6 million profit for me last weekend, which is going to open up some doors for the rest of the season. So, just going to try to hang on now.
I got 5 drivers to pick this season or this week. So
I do too.
You bluffed us, Brian. You said you're going to pick the same
Right.
team for the last 5 races.
Not touching them.
I'm not touching Palou. I will tell you right now, Palou's in my lineup the rest of the season.
I don't know if I picked Palou at all this season. That's just because he's too expensive. And
yeah,
I know you get points if you win, but you get more points if you can come in 5th and come from 10th.
Yeah.
Sort of thing. So he'll get your points, but not as many as some of these other guys can do. So
I doubled up points with Ericsson too this week. That was huge.
what did I do?
After talking all that trash about Marcus Ericsson, and how's he even going to have a ride next year? God, man, you bluffed us hard.
Right. Well played. Yeah, Kiffin got me the most. Kiffin did well for me. So we'll see. I'll give it. So Dinwiddie's at the top. I dropped down to second. Truly, the light is sweet is now in third. I think he stayed there. Mr. Nance as fourth, dropped down a spot. Mad Dog, Beef and Noodles, fifth. Scott Wire, Dine Life is in sixth. Miss Braley is in seventh, but she started probably 5 races into it. So and then Double Bird.
You forgot to set her lineup last weekend too.
Oh, no, that's.
He was a little frustrated after the race on Sunday.
Yeah. And then Double Birds has been out for a while. So if you haven't looked at Grid Rivals, I think you can probably still join a league, if not our league. Just jump in it for next season and just kind of get the feels of it and make it a little bit more.
I say it took me about 3 or 4 races to really get a better understanding and enjoy it more. So
yeah, it's definitely different and it's more fun. So if you want to, still obviously you're not going to win, but jump in, get the nuances and tricks of the trade and stuff like that for these last few races for any listeners out there.
And you know what? Race by race, it's fun just to compete and see who wins each week. So,
yep. Let's see if I can give a shot. Do we know it's just called Checkered Shorts Racing League for anybody. So Checkered Shorts Racing League, Grid Rivals. Let's get the app. Check it out. All
right. Thank you for joining us for episode. Yeah. And we'll say, we don't know this guy. He's horrible.
Yeah. Identify yourself.
Thank you for joining us on episode number 33. And we'll catch back up with you post race of the Grand Prix of Monterey.
See y'all race week. Let's
care.
go. See ya.